Welcome to our explainer on the art of persuasion. It's the one skill that can take a brilliant idea from just a thought in your head to a real-world game-changing reality. So today, we're going to dive into how you can genuinely influence people and really inspire them to take action. So, let me ask you this. Have you ever been in that situation? You've got this amazing, perfectly logical idea. You lay it all out, and you just get blank stares. Crickets. It's so frustrating, right? The thing is, persuasion isn't just about being right. It's about building a case that people don't just think is great, but that they feel is great.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to start by looking at some 2,000-year-old secrets that are still incredibly relevant. Then we'll jump into the modern craft of connection. We'll also tackle what to do when you get pushback, and finally, we'll talk about the super important line between persuading and manipulating.
So where do we even begin? Well, we're going to go way back, like over 2,000 years back. There was this philosopher, Aristotle, who basically wrote the original playbook on persuasion. And it was so good, it's still the foundation for how we communicate today. He boiled it down to 3 core appeals. First up is ethos. Think of this as your credibility. It's the reason anyone should even listen to you in the first place. It's all about building that trust, that authority. Ethos basically answers the audience's unspoken question, okay, but why should I believe you? Next, we've got pathos. This is the appeal to emotion. And this one is huge because facts and figures by themselves, they can be kind of dry. Pathos is what connects with people on a human level. It taps into their feelings, their hopes, their values. It makes them feel what you're saying. And finally, there's logos. This is your logic. This is the cold, hard data, the evidence, the charts, the well-structured reasoning. If pathos is the heart of your argument, logos is the brain. It provides that rational backbone that proves your point is actually sound.
So let's bring this into the 21st century. How does it actually look? Well, you build ethos by mentioning your years of experience. You create pathos by telling a really relatable story about a customer. And you deliver logos with a simple chart showing a big improvement. See? The real key isn't using just one of these. The most powerful arguments weave all 3 together beautifully.
Okay, so we've got that ancient foundation down. Now let's get practical. Knowing the theory is great, but actually applying it, that's where the magic really happens. This is all about the modern craft of connection. One of the most powerful persuasion tools you have is storytelling. And you don't need to be a novelist. A super simple framework is this: the setup, where you just set the scene. Then the struggle. This part is critical. This is the problem, the conflict. It's what hooks your audience. And finally, you swoop in with the solution, where your great idea saves the day. I love this quote because it just says it all, doesn't it? The facts, the figures, your logos, they are absolutely important. But if you wrap them up in a compelling story, that's what makes your message stick. That's what actually motivates people to get up and do something. Here's a tiny little shift in your language that has a massive impact. Just try switching from I to you. When you say, I saw this problem, you're the hero. But when you say you see this problem, suddenly the listener is right there in the story with you. It instantly makes it about them, not just about you. It's a game changer. It's not just your words, it's how you say them. Your voice is an incredibly powerful instrument. Playing with your pitch, slowing down for important points, even just a well-placed pause, it makes a huge difference. The goal is never to sound like you're performing, it's to connect. And the best part, this is a skill you can totally learn.
Now this is fascinating. These tips on building trust come from a former FBI spy recruiter. Check this out. Suspend your ego. That means your goal isn't to be right, it's just to understand. Validate what they're saying. And here's my favorite tip. If you say, I only have a minute, it actually makes the other person relax their defenses. So clever. So you've done everything right. You've built your case, you told a killer story, and they still say no. It happens all the time. But listen, an objection isn't a dead end. Think of it more as a request for more information. So let's look at how to handle it.
And whatever you do, do not get discouraged by that first no. Get this, according to HubSpot, a whopping 60% of customers say no at least 4 times before they say yes. So that initial pushback, it's not a rejection. It's just part of the conversation. Okay, so what do? The LAR framework is a fantastic tool. LAER. First, you listen. Like really listen. Don't just wait for your turn to talk. Then, you acknowledge their point. Show them you get it. Next, you explore the issue with questions to find out what's really going on. And only then, once you truly understand, do you respond. Now, we're always told that listening is the absolute key, and it is for building trust. But what if I told you that when it comes to straight-up persuasion, there's a little bit of a twist? And here it is. A recent study from Yale found something really interesting. Active listening makes people like you more, for sure, but it doesn't necessarily make you more persuasive. So what does that mean? It means listening is crucial for the relationship, but the heavy lifting of changing someone's mind, that still comes down to the strength of your argument and the story you tell.
This brings us to our final section, and honestly, it might be the most important one. Because when you get good at this stuff, when you have this power to influence, you also have a huge responsibility. It is absolutely critical to understand the line between persuasion and manipulation.
And really, the difference is all about your intent. Ethical or white hat persuasion is about finding a win-win. You're guiding someone to a decision that's good for them and good for you. Black hat manipulation, though, that's just deception. It uses all the same techniques, but for selfish reasons, to trick someone into doing something that only benefits you.
So at the end of the day, that's what persuasion is. It's a tool, and a very powerful one. The real question isn't whether or not you'll use it, because we all do every single day. The question is how you'll choose to use it. Will it be to lift people up and create something great together, or will it be for your own personal gain? The choice is yours.